Good day, everybody. Today I'll be going through Luminar AI and some of the portrait tools that are built into this piece of software. And I'll be doing that right after this. Hello, everybody. Thanks for sticking with me. So as discussed, I'll be going through Luminar AI and some of the portrait tools within this piece of software. Now, before I get started, I do have to say that this version of Luminar that I'm looking at is a beta or beta version, which means that the interface isn't fully locked down and there may be some changes between the version that I'm showing you and the final version. But the purpose of this is really for me to show you some of the tools and the changes that they can make to images rather than focus on exactly what the interface will look like, because that may change. Today I'm going to look at portrait tools. Now, before I get started, a big disclaimer. I'm not much of a portrait photographer. I don't like taking photos of people, which kind of defeats the purpose of portraits. So take what I say with a grain of salt, but hopefully it does give you a bit of an idea on, before and after of example images. I'll also include the links to each of these images below and where I've obtained them from. They're not my images, they're publicly available images. So if you want to download those images, I'll put the links and the artist details below. Let's start off with one of the interesting tools. So I'm going to select this portrait and I'm going to go into edit, and what I'm going to do is on the right hand side you'll see there's essentials, creative and portrait. So all the stuff that I'm going to look at is within portrait. There's face AI, skin AI and body AI. Now I'll start off with skin AI. This is a very basic kind of a retouching tool. So if you look at the model's skin, as I drag this up, it's basically smoothing that skin, but it's automatically masking to work out what the skin is and what it should smooth and what it shouldn't. So, I'll turn that off. I'll turn it on. You can see it is a pretty significant change, and I haven't had to do anything other than change the slider. Now, you can also apply shine removal and skin defect if you need to. And that just tries to get rid of spots and those sorts of, little defects. But I think this is a really handy tool, especially for people who don't do a lot of retouching like myself. So if I want to take a quick portrait and then do some very basic editing, I can very quickly apply Skin AI to improve the skin, and then I can move on from there. So body AI lets you adjust and sculpt the body. Now I'm not going to show it in this example because there isn't a body for me to show, but I'll show you in another one. So I'll skip body AI for now and we'll jump to face AI. So face AI is one that I'm most excited about. It's got a couple of different features in it. One is face light. And so this automatically adjusts the lighting on the face. And so if I go before and after, you can see that it's really improved the lighting on the face without me doing much. Now I might also want to slim the face, but like any of these tools, 100% I can tell you now is going to be a bad idea, same as face light. So, it's about subtlety, and if I'm completely honest, does the face need to be slimmed? Probably not in most cases, but it's a handy tool to have nonetheless. So I could also go into mouth, and here I can adjust the saturation of the lips, the redness of the lips. I can darken the lips, and if there are teeth, I can whiten those automatically without worrying about masking. But the really exciting thing about Face AI is eyes. So what this lets you do is this lets you automatically change the eye color. Where I have original here, I can select that and I could pick blue, and it's automatically gone in and masked the eyes and changed them with a very quick selection. What I'll do is I'll zoom in just to the eyes a little bit more, maybe 50%, just so we can see some of these details a little bit more. So let's say I want to change it to green. I can just pick this drop down box and pick green, and it's that simple. It's mastered already. It's made all of those changes for me without me having to mess around. And usually what you would have to do is you'd have to mask the eyes, make a lot of changes to do something as simple as changing the eye color. Whereas with this, it's a drop down box. I can also adjust iris flare, and you can see in the bottom of the eyes, that's kind of just adding a little bit of flare. I could enlarge the eyes. Now again, 100% is always going to be a bad idea, but you may decide that there is value in enlarging the eyes. You can whiten the eyes. Just apply a general eye enhancer. We could apply red eye removal, which isn't an issue here. And we could also improve eyebrows, which is kind of just darkening those eyebrows. So if we go back to 25% and I do the before and after, you can see that they are subtle changes, but it has definitely changed the face, and it's done it in the span of a couple of seconds in reality if I wasn't talking. So, you know, this is a really handy tool to be able to allow you to make really significant changes quite easily. So I'll go into a photo of this model now, and let's look at some of the things that we can do with the Face AI and Skin AI. So I don't think the skin needs much, if anything. But if you do want to apply some, you can just apply that as needed. Body obviously doesn't apply, so we can then go into face. So I think a little bit of face light might improve this. It doesn't need the face slimmed. Maybe we could increase the saturation of the lips a tiny bit. Increase the redness a little bit. Maybe darken the lips, darken the lips. And then we can go into eyes, and we might decide that we want to change the eyes. So I'll zoom in just to the eyes, just for the purpose of this. So I can start off by saying, all right, well, what about brown eyes? Is that going to make much of a change? And it's not a big change, actually. What it you'll see it's emphasized in the iris and a lot of those sort of things a little bit more. Now, if you want original, you could just leave it there, and then you could adjust iris flare and keep the eyes as are. So we might say iris flare, eye whitening, maybe a little bit less, eye enhancer, and improve eyebrows just a little bit. And maybe let's make the eyes green. So, you know, it can be that simple to make a pretty subtle but significant change. So the left is the before, the right is the after. And that was done, you know, through a very quick power edit process. So, you know, these are really useful tools, I think, to show you how you can make changes to portraits. And you don't have to worry about the masking and, you know, this part's the face here, that part's not. So let's have a look at a few other photos. So I've got a photo here. And now this one, I can do a few things. So again, face light is probably worth applying. I don't really think it needs the face slimmed. I might want to keep the eyes as are, or I might want to just change them to brown to bring out the iris and everything in the AI tool. But let's leave them as original. Can then work on iris flare. Maybe enlarge eyes a tiny bit. Let's whiten the eyes a little bit. Enhancer. And then we can improve the saturation and redness. and there aren't teeth to worry about for whitening there. So I'll show you the before. So that's the before, that's the after. Most of that is face light. You might decide that you don't want it, in which case no dramas. But you know, it is a quick and easy way to be able to improve a portrait. So now in this example, I'm going to show you some of the other tools that we haven't covered, which is primarily Skin AI. So I'll start off by doing an edit to the face. So let's improve face light. Let's give it brown eyes. It's not going to make much difference. Iris flare, eye whitening definitely, eye enhancer. Probably don't need improve eyebrows, but we'll do it anyway. Just go to skin, apply a little bit of skin and shine removal, and now we'll go to body AI. So what body AI does is it masks the body and it allows you to automatically sculpt the body. Now with a lot of these AI tools, if you go 100%, it's going to look stupid. So I'll go 100%, and of course that doesn't look right nor realistic. But what's really interesting with this tool is you can actually make the body bigger. So you could take a photo where, you know, you think maybe it looks a little bit skinny, and you can actually apply negative body AI to make that sculpt the body and make it a little bit bigger. So what I'm going to do in this scenario is I'm going to slim it just a little bit. So let's say 35. And what the abdomen does is, if you look around the zipper, it's identifying that as the abdomen, and it's just making subtle little changes to the abdomen area. Because of the jacket, it's not really doing a lot here. So I'll turn body AI off. I'll turn it back on. Sorry. Turn it back on. And you can see that's a pretty significant difference in terms of sculpting the body. So they're the portrait AI, or the portrait tools that I discussed. There's body AI, which is really about sculpting the body. There's skin AI, which is about retouching and improving the skin. And there's face AI, which is about light in the face. It's about improving the eyes and the mouth as well. So I hope this quick run through has been useful so you can see some of these tools. As always, if you've got any other questions, please feel free to ask in the comments. Stay tuned to the channel, and I'll be doing some more videos in the near future. Thanks for watching. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah.